Alright, guys, here's my non spoiler review for the Fantastic Four First Steps. It's in theaters now, directed by Matt Shakman, who did the WandaVision series, which I absolutely loved. I've been so excited for this movie ever since it was announced. I loved the cast announcement. I was a little hesitant with a few of them, but by the time we got our first footage, our first trailers, I was hooked. Like, weeks before the movie, I was like emotionally like connected to these people as these characters already. I felt like they really just I was sold. I was sold before I even saw the movie. The trailer sold me on this cast, on this world, and on the vision that Matt Shakman had as a director. And I was really, really pleased with the overall result. Growing up, I loved the original Fantastic Four films starring, I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, Ian Gruffud and Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, and Michael Chiklis. Amazing cast. I still love those movies. Even the next one, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, both are classics to me, and they were my introduction to the Fantastic Four, and they still hold strong in more ways than you would think. But they also have their issues. And then the 2015 version with Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, Kate Mara, Jamie Bell has its moments. I rewatched it recently, and I liked the first like half, the first three quarters. It was really the ending that just didn't sell it for me. I feel like even that one made me miss the old ones with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba. And it was a really sad thing for the Fantastic Four, but it was so exciting when Deadpool and Wolverine brought back Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, because they knew how nostalgic that was, and with the whole Chris Evans playing Captain America for years after that was a nice reminder that, hey, this is where he started out in Marvel. And let's not forget about the Fantastic Four. They're great. And what was nice about that cameo that Chris Evans did was it was a nice spin on the Fantastic Four, and particularly that character that we hadn't seen before. We had never seen an R-rated Human Torch, which I really loved, and he was able to kind of be that extreme version of that character. I think at that point we had known that there was going to be a new Fantastic Four movie announced, and with a new cast. I think the new cast was already announced. And so by the time this one came out, it was nice we got all the jokes out of the way. We did that whole thing with Chris Evans. It was a nice throwback to the old cast. Let's now completely just focus and give a seriousness. Even though this movie was very funny, let's treat these characters with absolute seriousness and care, and knowing that these characters you're going to be with these cast members and these characters for years, and they are so perfect. And just knowing that this one connects to the MCU in more ways than one is so exciting. Prior to seeing the movie, we knew that, hey, this is the first Fantastic Four film that connects to everything. They can reference this, they can reference that. They don't have all those barriers that the older Fantastic Four films had. So just going in, that was such an exciting factor. I think the original director announced was going to be the new Spider-Man director, John Watts. And then that fell through because he was doing some other project or something. And I get that. And I was excited at first. I think I wanted that. But I am so glad how everything turned out. Especially with how much I loved. Don't get me wrong, I love Spider-Man, but I loved WandaVision, and I felt like that was such a unique thing for Marvel to do, and it felt like it made sense for them to get that director to do Fantastic Four, especially with the retro. But also, like, I feel like this was Matt Shakman's chance to do something so big. This by far was the biggest thing he's ever gotten to do. And I felt like he went above and beyond. Like, Dude, this guy is a cinematic director. He has mostly worked in television. I believe this. Alright, I just looked it up. He literally did one movie, and it was like an independent, small film, and I mean, it had Billy Bob Thornton in it, but like that is insane. It's called Cut Bank. It came out in 2014, but I haven't seen it. Now I kind of want to watch it. But this is his first like this is his first big studio movie, like that's playing in IMAX and in every theater possible. Like, dude, he's directed so much television. Let me tell you, like Succession, The Boys, Game of Thrones, Billions, Monarch: Legacy of Monsters. He did Revenge, New Girl, House, Weeds, Chuck, Everybody Hates Chris, 6 Feet Under. Oh my god, yeah, he's incredible. You guys should watch his interview he did with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin on their YouTube channel called Fat Man Beyond. They were interviewing him for WandaVision, and they do an incredible interview with him, and you get to learn so much about him. He's got a fascinating story. He's also from the town that I grew up near, so I'm honored to share the same like area code as him, which I love. You know, just growing up in the same area that he did is really cool to me. But yes, he did an outstanding job. Like one of the most beautiful Marvel movies I've ever seen, and this is this guy's first like studio big. Basically, this is this guy's like first movie. Like the size difference between the one little one that he did like is insane. Like that was nothing compared to what he just did here, and like doing it well, and like people who have been like veteran directors did the old Fantastic Four movies, and he as a new director comes in and just redoes and does arguably the best Fantastic Four movie that there is, and even arguably one of the best Marvel movies I've seen. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, like, his track record with WandaVision like holds for sure, but like I didn't know if he could do it as a movie. You know, I didn't know he could do Marvel movies, and he sure did. I was absolutely stunned. Pedro Pascal, I've always loved. We're getting a little oversaturated with him, but I'm not complaining. I really do like him, and he just does such a fantastic job. No pun. I really was not trying to do that time. But he is great. Vanessa Kirby, terrific. I had known her from the Mission Impossible movies. Most recently, I saw her in a film called Eden, which was quite disturbing, but quite good, and she was really, really strong in that. A little scary, but good scary. And I felt that intensity in Fantastic Four a lot. And, you know, I'm kind of glad I watched Eden right before I watched Fantastic Four. I guess she was in the Hobbs and Shaw Fast and Furious movie as well, which I know I saw. She's been in other things. Oh, she's in frickin' The Crown. She plays Princess Margaret. Okay, I feel like that's where I maybe saw her first. That's crazy. I didn't realize that. Amazing. She's just she is almost the best part of this movie, like performance wise. For me personally, her character just goes through so much. Eben Moss-Bachrach, who I'm glad I had gotten into The Bear prior to this, because he really... I was a little concerned. I do like that he is Jewish, and Ben Grimm is Jewish as well. But I think I was maybe just a little concerned about just him playing the Thing. And I think out of all of them, he was the one I was the most... And also, like, the look of the Thing, I think I was concerned about too. But, dude, he blew it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. I had seen him in a lot of things before, and he is really impressing me. He has done some really incredible stuff with range. Like, A Quiet Place Day One to Gladiator. I've seen parts of Warfare. I need to watch all of it. Oh, obviously Stranger Things. Eddie Munson was the first thing I saw him in. He's terrific. Just absolutely outstanding. The whole cast is like I was getting emotional watching just them on the big screen. Like they're here and they're doing it. And I immediately, within the first few minutes of watching the movie, like again, like I said, even before with the trailers, like I was sold. Like I completely understood why they cast these people. Like especially within the first few minutes, I'm just like, they're the Fantastic Four. I can't wait to see them go on and do this for years and interact with other Marvel characters in the future. Like this is what we wanted. This is what I want. I'm so happy. Like they're doing it. The Fantastic Four is here. And like one day we're going to get X-Men, and one day we're going to get a new Blade. One day we're going to get, I think even Kevin Feige said we're going to get like a new Iron Man and a new Captain America. You know, it's just, it's time. And I feel like more relatable is the X-Men, because we really needed not that we didn't enjoy getting some flashbacks and stuff with Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, but it is time for a new generation to take over and give the X-Men a new chance in this new universe, the MCU. Like it truly feels like days ago that the Fantastic Four was announced at Comic-Con. Like it's insane to me. Everybody else in this movie just kills it. Galactus, Silver Surfer, they are Herbie. I don't know who does like the voice. Maybe it's just I guess Matthew Wood is a voice. Okay, I guess he did the voice of Herbie. Oh, I loved Herbie. I mean, like it just reminded me of Wall-E. Didn't he not sound like Wall-E? But so cute. I loved Wall-E. I mean, Herbie. God damn it. And Silver Surfer Shalabal was maybe my favorite part of the movie. Every scene with her was just so interesting, but also just visually a feast for the brain, for the eyes. It was the way they did her character and the way they moved her across the screen with her surfboard, and the way she just glided through the silver screen was gorgeous. It was also, it felt like Marvel's Interstellar mixed with, yes, Incredibles. Even though I hate that everybody has been saying like I just hate the way they word it. Like it just makes it feel like you're giving all the credit to the Incredibles. No, the Incredibles took from Fantastic Four. Like it's always been Fantastic Four. Don't let them get you to think that Incredibles did it the first time. You know what I mean? But yes, we all love the Incredibles, but the Fantastic Four is finally here and done right, I feel like, and let's forget about the old ones. Let's forget about Incredibles. Let's focus on these guys and let's see them in the next few years, you know, and see what they do. I feel like everything from the trailers that I knew I was gonna like lived up to that. You know, the retro 60s world just was so fun to be immersed in. I love that, and the music was really good. That theme song is so catchy. I was addicted. I've been humming it for days now, or you know, for a day now. What I loved too was that this film felt like it definitely got to the point quick. It was a nice entryway for new people, for like new fans to get interested and learn about the Fantastic Four, which is great. I feel like they needed to do that because the more people I talked to, the more I realized nobody I talked to who's just like a generic movie fan, especially younger people, had not ever seen a Fantastic Four movie. And this is Marvel's chance to like, hey, let's grab some new audience members and some new fans, and hopefully get people interested in wanting to go back and learn about these characters because they have so much history and there's so much and so many directions that people can go, whether it's the older comics, the newer comics, the movies, and people in Marvel Rivals and video games can get a glimpse of them, and they're coming to Fortnite also, so like they're really pushing it on newer fans and newer potential fans, and trying to bring in a different demographic and the next generation, really, which I loved. And I feel like, again, it's nostalgic for the older fans, and interesting and engaging for the newer, younger people. What sucked was, I feel like the last few times I've been at the movies, I've had so many interruptions. I don't know. There was this one kid, they may have been like special needs, but she was literally just walking up and down the stairs every 5 or 10 minutes. I feel like she just couldn't sit down or keep still. Maybe it's just ADHD. Maybe it's just being a kid. I don't know. But, or maybe, maybe it wasn't interesting to the really young kids. There was a lot of intense moments also that I maybe, as somebody who's older, I did not take into consideration that perspective. Some moments were intense. Especially there was one scene in space that I won't say, but as much as I enjoyed it and thought it was a really creative and wonderful scene, it could be intense for young kids. And even some little scenes with Galactus here and there could come off as a little scary. But, just like young kids. But, I feel like 8-year-olds and stuff, 8 and up might just 8-year-olds and up, I feel like, or like 10 or something, really, really will enjoy this. I feel like that was the age I started to enjoy these types of movies, or who knows? I don't know. I don't know how this new generation is, and who knows? Everyone's different also. So I hope for the best for this movie. It lived up to my expectations and above and beyond. I felt like the trailers gave me enough to know what I was going to like, but also left me with a lot of surprises and things I didn't expect. Story-wise, really, was just a fascinating story. I loved the pace. It was so wholesome and just heartfelt. Like I was on the verge of tears just because I was so happy. And again, like I said, I was just happy they were here. I'm happy they're here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's finally happened. And 2 post-credit scenes get you excited for the future. That's all I'll say. I feel like it's got everything you could want. The comedy, action, science fiction, a little bit of horror here and there. It's got a good mix of everything. It's really just a beautiful, beautiful movie on top of that. It's just, I think the thing I walked out of the film thinking the most was, that was a gorgeous film. It was beautiful. It just made me feel good. It was wholesome. I just... Thunderbolts was the same, but I felt like it was a little bit more of an emotional roller coaster, and I like that too. But if I'm going to throw something on, to feel good, it's going to be this movie for sure. I really, really love this movie. It jumped to the top for me this year. For sure my favorite Fantastic Four movie out of the other Fantastic ones. Even though I really, really love Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and that whole cast too, they're amazing. It's just, this movie was the movie we all needed, and what the Fantastic Four needed. It was what Marvel needed so badly, and they did it, in my opinion. Like, I don't know what else to compare it to, but like it is certainly up there with one of my favorite Marvel movies. It is a gorgeous film and just makes me feel good. Makes me really, really excited for the future, though, just because these characters are so great and I want to see more of them. I want to see all these Fantastic Four stories with these actors. Like, I can't wait. I want it so bad. So I'm trying to think, like, what else can I talk about without spoilers. I am going to do a separate review for spoilers. I would like to do that because there is so much to talk about. I hope this movie does well. I think most people will enjoy this. I guess the last thing I want to talk about is that I love the stakes of this movie. Like, without getting into any spoilers, it's just, it felt like Avenger level stakes. And I feel like some of the trailers kind of reveal what some of those stakes are. But if you haven't watched it in the trailers, I won't say anything. But it felt like an Avengers level threat. It felt like watching an Avengers movie, and I just was in awe. I hadn't felt that feeling in a minute. You know, it was really nice, and I was so excited. And hearing the audience kind of go a little wild. It's been a minute, and in a Marvel movie, and I had a lot of fun. But no, I felt like I hadn't seen stakes like that in a Marvel movie in a while, and they did it so well. And it just makes you excited for everything. I don't know what else I can say, but stay tuned for a spoiler-filled review, which I, again, need to do because just too much to talk about. I would love to hear what you guys thought of the Fantastic Four First Steps. No spoilers in the comments, please. Try to keep it respectful. But yeah, I highly recommend. I hope it does well at the theater, and I hope it blows everything out of the box office. I hope it does well. I certainly hope it does better than frickin' Thunderbolts did. I wish Thunderbolts did better. This movie is in competition of the year for me with Sinners for sure and Thunderbolts. Those three are kind of circulating as my favorite right now. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something else this year that sneaks in, but it's looking like either Sinners or Fantastic Four for me right now as best film of the year. Who knows? But stay tuned for more. I'll definitely do that spoiler-filled review. Let me know what you guys thought down below. And thank you guys so much again for watching. Stay tuned for more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.